Structural members such as tension members, compression struts, and flexural beams cannot practically span entire structures as unified continuous components. Consequently, structural continuity depends on mechanically joining these elements to ensure effective force transfer across interfaces. The fundamental fastener used in traditional steel construction is the rivet, a ductile steel bar consisting of a cylindrical shank and a preformed manufactured head. During installation, the unheaded shank is passed through pre-drilled aligned holes in the structural plates, after which pneumatic force forms a second or driven head on the opposing tail end. Key geometrical profiles include snap heads for standard structural defaults, pan heads, and flush countersunk configurations for applications requiring smooth surface clearances. Crucially, the grid thickness, the total combined thickness of the connected plates, must be strictly limited to 4 times the nominal diameter to prevent bending stresses during the driving process and to ensure full structural integrity. The mechanical behavior of a riveted joint relies heavily on its installation process, which combines plastic deformation and thermal contraction mechanics. In panel 1, the rivet is heated into a red-hot plastic state before insertion into the clearance hole. Panel 2 illustrates the driving phase where pneumatic riveting hammers apply heavy compressive axial force to form the second head. This process plastically deforms the shank, causing it to expand radially and completely fill the internal void of the hole. Panel 3 shows the final cooling phase, where the rivet attempts to contract longitudinally as its temperature drops. Because the formed heads restrain this axial contraction against the rigid structural plates, massive residual longitudinal tension is induced in the shank. This internal tension pulls the plates tightly together, generating substantial normal force and interface friction that governs the shear load transfer capacity of the joint under initial loading conditions. To perform accurate structural design per IS 800-2007, a clear distinction must be made between the nominal fastener size and the gross effective working diameter. Unlike bolted connection, where calculations rely on the unexpanded bolt shank diameter, hot-driven rivets expand to completely fill the clearance hole during installation. Consequently, all critical stress, shear, bearing, and capacity calculations are governed entirely by the gross diameter of the enlarged hole. As specified in IS 800-2007, Table 19, standard clearances are added to the nominal size to determine the gross diameter. A 1 mm clearance for nominal sizes of 12 to 14 mm, 2 mm for nominal sizes from 16 to 24 mm, 3 mm for nominal sizes exceeding 24 mm. For instance, a 20 mm nominal high tensile rivet requires a standard 2 mm clearance hole. Thus, 22 millimeter becomes the absolute gross working diameter applied in all design formulas. Drilling fastener holes into structural members removes load-bearing cross-sectional area, creating critical failure planes. The layout geometry of a rivet group determines the minimum net tensile area along potential tear lines under applied axial load P. Chain riveting places fasteners in a parallel rectangular grid. However, this creates a severe linear reduction in plate area directly along the first transverse row, maximizing critical stress concentration. Staggered riveting offsets adjacent rows, forcing potential failure along an inclined diagonal tear path, which increases the path length and marginally improves the net tensile capacity. The most structurally efficient geometry is diamond riveting. In this pattern, the leading edge contains only a single rivet hole, minimizing initial area reduction. As the load progresses past successive rows, force is incrementally transferred out of the main plate into the connection, ensuring that maximum cross-sectional area is preserved where the untransferred tension force is the highest. Under limit state design guidelines in IS 800-2007, a riveted connection must satisfy resist failure across three primary modes: shear across the shank plane, bearing stress at the plate fastener contact interface, and net section plate tearing. While actual elasticity creates highly complex non-uniform stress fields influenced by local surface imperfections and initial hole clearances, practical limit state design relies on the key simplifying assumption that the design load is distributed equally among all fasteners in a group. This mathematical simplification is valid only due to the inherent ductility of structural steel. When the most heavily loaded edge rivet reaches its yield threshold, it undergoes plastic deformation without immediate fracture. This ductile yield allows excess load to redistribute naturally to adjacent lower stressed fasteners throughout the group. This mechanism prevents progressive unzipping and brittle catastrophic failure across the joint assembly. While hot-driven rivets have been largely superseded by modern connection methods in new fabrication, understanding their fundamental mechanics remains crucial for assessing, rehabilitating, and analyzing legacy steel infrastructure globally. Furthermore, hot-driven riveting established the mechanical foundation for contemporary high-strength friction grip HSFG bolting coils. Both system operates on an identical physical force transfer mechanism, inducing massive internal axial tension in the fastener to clamp the connected plates together under high preloads. In hot-driven rivets, this pretension is generated thermally through restricted axial cooling shrinkage. In modern HSFG bolts, the equivalent clamping force is achieved mechanically through calibrated applied torque during installation. In both cases, applied shear loads are primarily transferred through interface friction between the clamped plate, minimizing direct contact shear and bearing stresses on the fastener shank under serviceability conditions.